So what's going on with the room there, huh?
So I said this at the end of last episode. If you haven't watched or listened to that one yet, go check that one out first, and then come back here. And make sure to subscribe, by the way. You know. Anyways, so at the end of last episode, I was explaining that I'm moving out of my current house. We are currently under siege with we're in a war with termites right now.
Mm.
But that's not the reason why we're leaving. We'd never give up on a war.
But
But
I mean, kind of great timing to
it
get
is very
termites.
great timing.
Know?
I am very happy. I do not need to be here when this house inevitably gets tented.
Yeah,
Um,
if you're gonna get it, you might as well get it on the way out. So
yeah. So I am packing up all my stuff. This will be the last episode I ever record in this room. So for those of you who have come to know me from this room, I will not be here anymore.
Don't know him
Don't.
from
It's
that
going to be a new
anymore.
space. We're going to have brand new recording
That also
studio.
means the server database is going to have to be moved as well.
Yeah,
A
I
lot of
do need
things.
like
A lot of things
I called up our intern. It took him like 5 phone calls to finally pick up. I had a word with him after that. He's now flying out here and moving them all out in the next 24 hours.
Breaking news at the sideline of the Nuggets game, Nuggets Sun game 5. Russell Wilson and Sean Payton courtside, buddy right now. It looks like Sean Payton's showing Russell Wilson a meme on his phone.
Okay.
That's what it looks like based off that reaction and body language. So it's good to know that the new, what should have been the Chargers head coach is, starting off on the right foot with his quarterback.
Yeah.
And also, how much did the Broncos have to give up for him again? Like a was it a first? No, it was a second.
No, it was like a second. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember. That's so long ago. I kind of forgot.
Yeah, people forget. Like last year, I was scarily dead accurate on my Broncos prediction of 6-11, 7-10. This year, I think it's going to be a rebound. I'm saying 500 or slightly above.
9-8, 9-8,
500.
Yeah, 9-8. But yeah, take it in. This is the last episode, and
yeah, no, they're
this
showing
beautiful room.
No, that's confirmed.
They are showing each other memes. We have confirmed
those
that.
are memes. Yeah, I can confirm that.
What meme do you think Russell Wilson is showing Sean Payton?
Sean Payton showing Russell Wilson.
What do you think it's a Russell Wilson meme? You
No,
know the picture of him where he's on the ground
actually,
going like this?
Knowing Russell Wilson, he probably wouldn't react to it or know that it's a meme unless it involved him. So
he has to be specifically told that it is a meme for him to react to it.
Yeah, no, Sean Payton's educating Russell Wilson on youth pop culture. Yeah, he's educating him on memes. So yeah, no, I can confirm that, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's all I got.
Yeah, sorry for the takeaway there, but we had to bring it up.
We did have to bring it up.
If I see Sean Payton and Russell Wilson, like if I see just Russell Wilson at a public outing without Sierra, like Sierra's not there. I forgot to mention that.
Oh, so, okay.
And
so now you've got me intrigued.
Yeah, no, like Russ is there, like literally on a date with Sean Payton, and I think Sean Payton's wife is there. She's just sitting in the middle of them, and Sean Payton's like leaning over his wife to talk to Russell. It's very, very funny. Like very funny seating arrangement. They should just let Russ and Sean Payton sit next to each other now.
Yeah. What happens if they get on the kiss cam?
I think Russ would be like, Broncos country, let's ride.
Let's ride.
Let's ride. I think Russ would have to do it. He's
do you think
whatever it takes to win over that
do you think that so obviously there's a trend of football players, specifically quarterbacks, and David Bakhtiari chugging beers on the cam?
He's done it again recently? Or
David Bakhtiari? No. That is just a trend. It's just a general trend. Yeah, we'll refer. Do you think Russell Wilson would have the ability to chug a beer on the cam?
No. Beer calories can't
do it.
Those. Can't do it. Like
maybe
Baker's
the water
down. Like when Baker did it, that was impressive. When
he
did the Indians game, that was impressive.
Baker seems like the kind of didn't he like put two of them? He like doubled up on him.
He double fisted it. Not sure if it was quite that hard. It could have been.
It's
And
Baker
if it
Mayfield.
was,
I
I
mean,
apologize, Baker. Well, if there's any guy that I would expect to do it, it is Baker. So
yeah.
not gonna count that out. But I vividly remember him, cracking open the shotgun with his teeth at the Indians game.
Who do you think would be
pointing
the
to
biggest?
Lindor jersey? Lindor was still on the Indians.
Who do you think would be the most like live beer chuggers in the NFL? Like Baker Mayfield on the camera.
It's gotta be lineman.
But like I mean like Baker Mayfield was like
but
live
also
when he
bringing
was
the hype,
chugging the beer.
like, well,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Bringing the hype too.
Pretty much, I think this comes down to Joe Burrow. If Joe Burrow,
I think
would I think
Joe Burrow would.
I think he's like too cool for it. That I don't think he would do it necessarily. But I think under the right circumstances, we can get him to do it. Then yes,
I guarantee you though, Travis Kelce and George Kittle.
Oh,
George Kittle,
100%.
I
actually
electric.
It's 100% a tight end. George Kittle, Travis Kelce.
George Kittle, Travis Kelce. Yeah,
it's got
100%.
Yeah,
I feel like Jason
I'd
Kelce
probably
too.
Put my money on George Kittle because he also has the long hair, and that really adds to it. That really adds to it. So George Kittle, the hair really gives him the cherry on top. But I'd also still say that George Kittle would.
TJ Hawkinson too, low key could have that vibe with the long hair.
It's. I would just say that, unfortunately, popularity
does weigh heavily. It does weigh heavily.
And George Kittle and Travis Kelce and
just
recognizability much higher than TJ Hawkinson.
Yes.
So
I agree.
They'd have to get that edge. But yeah, no, it's definitely I'd have to give it to Kittle over Kelce though.
Okay, if you had to give it to somebody on the Chargers though, who's the Chargers beer chug guy?
I would say personality like has to matter here. Like I was gonna say,
I know
Asante Samuel Jr. because I think he could definitely slug it the hardest. But would he make it the most exciting? Probably not. I'd say Keenan.
I was gonna say Rashawn Slater.
It's the personality thing.
But I feel like
we reserved.
Even out like at the games and stuff, I feel like he would get like loud.
I'm just
like,
talking like from when I see the players like talking like in interviews, like how like outgoing, outspoken. Keenan seems like the most like Eckler just wouldn't drink the beer.
No,
so,
he just wouldn't drink it.
He's not on the list. Like Mike Williams, just not quite.
He's having a seltzer. He's having a seltzer.
Herbert would not be at
he is
or venue that they're filming it, so he's not even available. Really not good for the marketing team. And
no, really not.
But hey, we got to make him happy.
Eric Hendricks, though. Eric Hendricks, what I've seen him do it for the when the Vikings used to play for the Vikings.
I could get behind that.
EK,
behind that.
He could do it.
I like. Unfortunately, Khalil Mack, no. Like Joey Bosa, no.
A little reserved.
I wouldn't quite give it to him. Derwin could be that guy. But I think Keenan's a lot more entertaining than Derwin.
I don't know. Keenan Allen kind of gives me
the beard with Keenan. It'd be very fun. And he's also bald. It'd look very
Keenan Allen kind of gives me seltzer vibes, so that's the issue.
Oh, that's maybe one of the most disrespectful things you could have possibly said. Like, do not ever say like if anyone.
I'm sorry.
It's Austin Eckler.
No, he's a soda guy. He's a soda guy.
Yeah, but like not even that because there's sugar in it. Just like club soda, sparkling water, essentially.
Diet Coke.
That's what he drinks. He has one of those bubble machines.
Oh, you make your own soda. That's what he does.
What are those called?
I don't know. Carbonator, fizzy pop. I think something like that.
Yeah, I can't say I'm big into the.
I don't drink soda, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, what a pre-show shenanigans. Yeah. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to quite an episode of the Waterboy Podcast. Today is episode 116, and the Golden State Warriors have officially been eliminated from the NBA playoffs. The Lakers took a resounding 3-1 lead last night in LA. We are recording this a day early, but by the time this is uploaded, the Warriors will have been eliminated from the NBA playoffs. So what I just said is correct. Warriors are bounced, packed up ship, all set and sail, all done. But in all reality, talk about what we actually know here. Lakers up 3-1 on the Warriors. The Lonnie Walker game. Who would have thought? Lonnie Walker, since the trade deadline, bringing in a bunch of new players, bringing in D'Lo, bringing in Vando, bringing in Hachimura, hasn't Lonnie Walker
Really?
start of the year had a very large role in the team, but has been reduced, but showed up at the end of game 2 in garbage time minutes, played very well. So Darvin Ham said, screw it. I'll let you get some minutes. Game 3 played well. Game 4, 15 points in the fourth quarter from Lonnie Walker. The Lonnie
And
Walker
a game basically saving performance.
Yeah,
too.
Disgusting, phenomenal performance out of Lonnie Walker. We're having a different random role player step up every night. Like it was
It's
awesome.
very nice to see.
Hachimura for a very
limited appearance,
excessive stretch. He was that guy coming off the bench. Now we have Lonnie Walker.
Schroeder had that game-winning 3 a couple weeks ago.
Schroeder had a big game. That AD ruined his game-winning 3. So yeah, everyone's had some big moments here. But Lakers up 3-1. It's about to be over in 5. So I can't believe it, but the Lakers actually
look like the
most dominant team.
Between the Nuggets and the Suns
to not have a 2-2 series. Lakers.
Between the Nuggets and the Suns, which one would you rather see?
What do you mean? Lakers and Suns?
Yeah. Like who would you rather see the Lakers play between the Suns and the Nuggets?
I thought you were asking me like if I was the Celtics, would I rather see the Lakers?
No.
Before the series started, I was saying I'd much rather see the Nuggets, but after seeing this, I'm not really sure anymore. Right now, Nuggets got a slight lead over the Suns at game 5 at halftime right now, but obviously the Suns have the star power. It's just Jokic could be interesting.
I am just kind of,
it could be interesting.
That's my concern. And on top of that, Jamal Murray's been playing very well. It looks like he's gone back to his bubble days. Maybe his girlfriend's hanging out around there. I don't really know.
Oh, whoa. We're bringing up that Jamal Murray bubble scene. Okay, all right.
Yeah. Aaron Gordon's been playing okay. Who's the other dude that they have that kind of looks like
Michael Porter Jr.?
Yeah. He's been playing. So I'm overall a little bit more scared of the Nuggets, specifically because of that matchup, that 1-2 combo of Jamal Murray and Jokic, especially considering AD.
Well, also at the same time, Book and KD are like combining for 80 points in games 3 and 4.
Book and KD, yes, but outside of that though, like they're depth players, their depth and like the players around the two of them have not really had that much of an impact.
Landry Shamet,
that's the point.
To play,
the Nuggets have depth, and that is an issue because the Lakers can compete with teams that don't have depth. And it's also them.
Every team has 1 or 2 phenomenal scorers. Every team has a big 2 essentially. It comes down to the depth right now. That's really is the difference in these games. And in these 7-game series, you're going to need one of these role players to step up and give you 20.
Also, like in my opinion, if we're looking at the big guys on both of the teams, and I'm not counting KD in this. I'm looking at DeAndre Ayton and I'm looking at Jokic.
Oh, yeah, KD's not. Yeah.
So between the two of them, if I'm just asking some dude to like block LeBron in the lane or AD in the lane, I 100% think that Jokic be able to do it. DeAndre Ayton is getting cut down like a tree. So
in terms of legacy wise, just like fandom, yes, we want to see LeBron versus Curry and then LeBron versus KD and then LeBron versus the Celtics.
Yeah.
Or James Harden, which could be
to be fair, also on top of that, like LeBron would not be a Lakers career, a Lakers Hall of Fame career unless you have played the Celtics in the finals.
Yeah,
you have to have that. It's just kind of a requirement.
Yeah, like a cornerstone requirement. Magic had his, Kobe had his, Shaq didn't. Shaq actually ended up joining them, so maybe a little bit of an
very later on.
Shaq.
Almost got there.
Yeah, no, that was near the end of Shaq's career where he has the rainbow of teams. Like
it's actually hilarious.
Jerseys, colors.
What he's been on the I'm not even gonna go through all of them, but Magic, Heat, Suns, Celtics.
Heat. Yeah. Like he has a rainbow. And I feel like
the rainbow.
A couple of those teams can give him multiple colors there. So yeah, he's got the rainbow done. But LeBron's got to get through the Celtics. Got to get a Laker over Celtics dub to cement himself as
Get
one
that
of the
final
all-time
ring.
Laker greats.
Get that
Cemented as
final
one of the
ring.
greats. Yeah. But onto the Celtics series right now. Sixers Celtics game 5 just wrapped up. Holy shit. Philly just smoked Boston in Boston. Go to the Garden, whoop their ass on the road to take a let me use this word again, a resounding 3-2
So
lead.
this game just finished right before we recorded this. And I did not get to watch this game. So I'm fully relying on you to provide all the information for this. I have not seen any stat lines. I've not seen anything I was studying. So
this game starting off quick. Jason Tatum bit of a stinker to start off this game. Bit of a slow start for the Celtics.
Zero started with the 0.
No, not quite, but more so
Okay.
like, let me pull up the exact number. I think at one point he was like 3 for 11 to start the game. Running
close
the
to 0.
offense through him. Let me get the exact number. I know he finished off much better. They only ended up losing by 12.
Only 12 points.
Yeah, Tatum ended up with 36, but 3 for 11 from 3, 11 for 27 from the field, 11 free throw points. But another key thing, Al Horford 0 for 7, dropping a donut, throwing it back to the good old days, Everett. But also, not much production out of Derek White, not much 3-point shooting going on. It was a tough outing. Al Horford 0 for 7 from 3. Not what you want to get. Also, Daniel House was playing meaningful minutes in this game.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yes.
I fully forgot that Derek White was on that team.
Yeah, and he's been really, really good this year, actually. But last year, not the greatest. But Tobias Harris was very, very good in the first half, making very, very key buckets when they needed to. Harden didn't actually shoot the ball that much. Harden only shot the ball 8 times in this game. Still had 17, 8 and 10 though. He was facilitating on offense, getting the ball moving. And then obviously Joel Embiid has his drop 33, but Tyrese Maxey was lining it up. Tyrese Maxey 6 for 12 from 3. He was really getting it going in this game. And I think Tyrese Maxey, when I actually think about it, he might actually be the key difference maker, that third scorer that the Celtics don't have, that the Sixers do, that could consistently give them 18 to 20 plus a night. He hasn't been doing it, but he did it in this game.
Is the Celtics' third scorer technically Al Horford? See his 3 option?
No, I would say it's
Derek.
I'm not
White?
sure who their exact established 3 is. It's literally either Derek White, Horford,
Whichever one of them is
Marcus
open.
Smart. Marcus Smart's the 5. He's the 5th option. It could also be Malcolm Brogdon, but he's coming off the bench now because Derek White's been playing really well. But I'm shocked how Philly was able to go in and win this game like this. I thought it was going to be a back and forth. I still think this is going to go 7. I still think this series is going to go 7. I think Boston, I'd be shocked if they don't respond to this. I'd also say Jaylen Brown, he needs to start asking for the ball, commanding it a little bit more.
He just needs to start playing better in general.
Well, he was playing.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said Jason Tatum.
No, not Tatum. Jaylen Brown. I'm saying Tatum doesn't quite have that killer mentality yet.
Yeah,
he's shooting a lot. This game he was shooting, but
if he walks out with a
Jaylen Brown might be the better option near the end of games.
I mean, it's kind of Jaylen Brown has that clutch gene, is what it seems like. Jason Tatum, not as much.
Jaylen Brown having the face mask on right now, I feel like that's just an added factor where it's just let him shoot, just give him the ball. So there is that too.
It's like you get like an ability boost, like you get in 2K whenever you put the face mask on.
Yeah, no, like it's like you put on the face mask, you get like +2 attributes to everything. Like literally, like
you get to like activate your limitless range modifier.
Yeah, like back in the day, it was 2K. It was like the blue diamond like jewelry. I want to say that's what gave you the upgrade. Like can't say I ever got that on my guy because I think it cost like $100 for it. But you bet your ass 20% of the people in my park had it.
Oh, 100%.
Anyway, I digress. Very, very impressed with the Sixers taking that's big time lead. But I'd still, I would say going into this, I was assuming the Celtics are going to win and take the series. I would say now I'm saying 55 Sixers, 45 Celtics. I think I'm feeling the Sixers right now.
I just, as a fan, I hope you're wrong, but we'll see.
Like in terms of the legacy standings, it would obviously be phenomenal if LeBron could actually go through Curry, KD, and then the Celtics.
Yeah, I mean Adam Silver. We know you're cooking stuff up back there, so just make sure it happens. All right. This is the only time I'm fine with tampering.
At the same time, screw Boston. I don't like them at all. Recently, saw some clip of a Boston fan complaining about how tough it is being a Boston fan that they haven't won a championship in over 1,000 days since pre-COVID. You know how tough that is, Everett? They haven't won a championship since pre-COVID. So fucking tough. Yeah, that's right. We got 2 rings since COVID. That's what I thought. But anyway.
So here's the thing. Obviously, I mean, I hate the Celtics. But
Sixers would also be a very fun match.
It's more satisfying. I hate Philly, but obviously I hate the Celtics more.
We would not lose to the Sixers. The Celtics,
no. It's way more satisfying. It's way more satisfying though to beat the Celtics in the finals than to have them just lose. Like they're that close 2 years back to back, and you get to be the ones that eliminate them.
Yeah, I feel like this is weirder though. Like the Lakers Celtics rivalry, it's a little more historical, where it's like the Padres. I never want to play against them. I hate them. I hope they never make the playoffs ever. So I would never root for them for any type of legacy fun matchup in the playoffs. No,
because that rivalry is the Giants
for the rest of the season. I literally hope the Padres lose every single game for the rest of the year.
I mean, the Dodgers are the Padres. Yeah, we asserted that.
This is in terms of recent memory, because both teams have only recently quite been back. We had quite of a lull there in the mid 2010s. So now that it's back, I kind of just want, now that we're in college, about to be done, a little bit older, we can really, really understand what's going on now. I want to see a Lakers Celtics finals now. We've been asking
the last time
Dodgers Yankees World Series. Probably never gonna fucking get it, but Lakers Celtics could actually happen.
The last time the Lakers and Celtics played in the finals, in my memory is you and we were in our practice graduation lines for our, I think it was either kindergarten or first grade graduation.
Oh yeah,
at the high top. We were up at the high top.
Dox any teachers' names, but
no.
Mr. I know this isn't the teacher, but essentially Mr. Cinnamon Buns going up there teaching us. We probably sang something like, well, that time we were really young, but the funniest one we ever sang was 525,600 minutes. Going up singing that, I was like, this is just
my favorite thing though is every year each grade sang the same song. So you would move on from singing one song in second grade to the third grade.
Fourth grade had their song.
And you'd sing the same thing every year. Anyway.
No, yeah, but it has been a long time since there's been a Lakers Celtics.
For reference,
Andrew Bynum was still in the league.
I'm talking Grant and I are both juniors in college right now.
Doc Rivers was the Celtics head coach. Phil Jackson was still coaching.
Grant and I are both juniors in college right now. We're talking about when we were in kindergarten.
Was in the league, okay? All right, we got to point.
They get the image. They get the point.
Steve Blake had a role on that team. Okay?
Blake Griffin still had knees.
And Blake Griffin hadn't punched that trainer on the Clippers yet. Like, that's how long ago it was. Like Corey Maggette might have still been in the league too. A really long time ago. Elton Brand might have still been on the way out. That's how long ago it was. Rip Hamilton might have still been in the league at the time. That's how long ago it was.
Shaq was on like his 7th team in 5 years.
Shaq was probably still a starter, but only playing 20 minutes a game at the time. Like
probably on the Suns at that point.
Yeah, where he had the handlebar mustache. Yeah, Big Diesel down in what was his nickname? He had some very funny. Diesel. But it was in each city he went. He had a new
one
nickname. It was.
I don't know. Funny. I don't know that much. I don't know that
look
bit.
it up. We'll
Get
save
back to
one
that.
for
We'll
later.
circle back.
But,
We'll circle back.
NBA finals have been phenomenal. This second round has been excellent. Want to shout out the Lakers for being the only team that didn't let their opponent tie it up 2-2. Only team that made it 3-1. So if Lakers, we can make some quick work in game 5, which we will. By the time you're listening to this, the series is already over. But Lakers could get some extra rest. And I forgot who it was, but someone was saying that the Lakers should rest AD and Braun for game 5. What are you saying? We have a chance to end it and then just literally earn our rest? Yes, we're gonna go for
that's our entire team. So I'd rather not rest them.
Yeah, I'd rather 3-1 than just give them 3-2. I think we should try.
Scary lead, 3-2 lead. That's a scary lead. Yeah, I don't like that.
We won't even have to go back to LA to play a game. We're just gonna go back to LA to
sleep,
rest up and watch.
Take a little nap
on the Celtics and the boys. But Everett, I've got some college football news.
Okay, I've got something for college football too.
Okay, so first thing I wanted to bring up, Ohio State has been putting some work in the portal. Okay. Just picked up a former top 100 D tackle recruit from Ole Miss. He's 6'4", 305 pounds, and he hit dingers for Ole Miss baseball, Everett. A 305-pound defensive tackle hitting dingers for D1 Ole Miss SEC baseball.
So what position does he play on the baseball team?
100% DH.
I didn't know if they DH in college.
It is, yeah.
It is DH.
Yeah, they don't have pitchers hitting. But I mean, I would love to see him like playing left.
Playing left, maybe he's back down under
third base is the easy assumption of what he's playing. But I'd like to see.
What if he is the pitcher?
Cannon in the outfield.
What if he is the pitcher?
Shohei Ohtani is what you're saying. So we got
a 400-pound Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, our rotating D tackle is the next Shohei Ohtani. That's pretty Ohio State.
That's an athletic specimen.
But yeah, we picked up a big boy. Picked up a big boy who hits dingers, hits bombs.
That's what we like to see. That's some strength.
No, yeah. Like, also just from a pitcher perspective, a college pitcher, you're pitching to a 305-pound man. Like, I would assume you kind of just, if it's a two-sport athlete, just throw him all curveballs. He can't hit the curveball. He can't hit it. I feel like that's the easy strategy. He's not spending his offseason working on
the curveball.
He's working on his pass rush moves. All right. So
he's getting the strength up though. He's getting the strength up. He'll be able to still hit dingers.
Don't want to let him get clean contact off a fastball, throw him junk.
Okay.
I think that'd be the mentality.
So I found this literally 5 minutes ago. It just got tweeted out by our favorite data analytic,
Anthony Treesh.
Not Anthony Treesh, but his company, PFF.
Mike Renner. PFF Mike.
PFF. No, just PFF. Okay. I don't know who it is. It just says PFF. Okay. This is the PFF list of top 10 defensive coordinators for next season in college football. I want your live reaction to this list.
I think I kind of saw it.
So, one is
real quick. Number one's got to be Jesse Minter.
One is Phil Parker, Iowa DC. 2 is Jesse Minter.
You know what? Actually, that is fair enough. It probably is
I was disgusting.
Well, also
their defense is
the
disgusting.
Fact of how awful their offense is, but they're still somewhat relevant in the Big Ten West.
Exactly.
I'd actually probably have to give it to them.
Didn't they got a pretty not good quarterback, but they got like a decent quarterback in the portal this past year, right?
Oh, little Cade McNamara from Michigan.
Yeah, there we go. One is Phil Parker. 2 is Jesse Minter. 3 is him Knowles.
Yeah, that was interesting.
The third best defensive coordinator.
I like a lot of these things. Like, go on.
4 is Glenn Schumann or Will Muschamp, whatever the fuck. 5 is Manny Diaz. 6 is Matt House of LSU. 7 is Joe Rossi from Minnesota. 8 is Tony Gibson, NC State. 9 is Pete Golding, Ole Miss. And 10 is Brian Brown for Cincinnati, who, by the way, lost their head coach. So
wait, yeah, I understand Fickle's gone. So that guy was the D coordinator for Fick.
I believe I'm not entirely sure. It's just I don't really know how it works.
Your conference.
Not anymore. Not anymore. They left.
Not
They're
anymore,
gone.
but at the time.
I don't need to know it if they're not here anymore.
Yeah, let's just say Jim Knowles at 3 is a little interesting, getting that love. Usually they want to bash Ohio State, but this time they're propping us.
So out of
to try to get interactions,
that's
an interesting
top
word.
10, out of the top 10, right? The Big Ten has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams. Half of the top 10 defensive coordinators in college football are in the Big Ten.
Yeah, I mean, we can see some problems. Yeah.
So, just a little interesting.
Another
fact.
thing I want to say is like a couple of those coordinators. The head coach kind of has the lead control over that defense. Like Iowa, Kirk Ferentz kind of has
obviously
over that. Obviously, Kirby has it for Georgia. Like I would still put Champ and the boys over Jim Knowles, but yeah,
I was just curious what your reaction to having Jim Knowles that high, because obviously after last season, I know you weren't super high on him on the back half of the season.
I would just say I had some, like, going into the season last year, I was telling myself to win a national championship, Ohio State, they'll have a top 5 offense. They just need to have a top 25 defense, which he did do. But I was expecting a top 10, a top 5 defense out of him, which was not going to happen in year 1. It wasn't going to happen with that personnel. We just did not. No. We literally did not have DBs.
Was last year his first season at DC?
Yeah, first year. So, like, for that, it was just unrealistic expectations for me to think that we should be able to shut down Georgia, like in that game. Like, I mean,
you did effectively. You did technically shut him down, or you at least competed with them. Like, you shut him down enough.
There's one fucking drive. We literally let him go 75 yards in the span of 45 seconds. I was like, well, there goes the 2 touchdown lead. All right, back in the game. Okay, all right, offense, let's go. But it's he likes to take risks. He likes to roll the dice a little bit, gamble a little bit, which I'm okay with. It's better than we were doing conservative Kerry Coombs and we were just sitting back and we literally ran cover 3 every single play. I'd rather take risks. I'd rather get aggressive. I'd rather blitz. It's tough to do that when you don't have the secondary and the DBs to make up for it in man coverage. It's very tough to pull that off and execute against Georgia. That's very difficult to do. So
obviously, yeah.
But overall, like Jim Knowles this year too, now the top 10 expectations are here. Now you've had another year to install it. Like, I am now expecting top 10 for what he's touted to be. If he's the 3rd best DC in the country, then yeah, that's what I'm expecting.
So if that's the case, let's say that's what your expectations are. 3rd best DC.
Well, also he was able to put up a top 10 defense at Oklahoma State, and he just has better players now.
This is obviously really premature, but what is your expectation for Ohio State? Realistic expectation for Ohio State for next season?
Win the Natty every single year. That's my standards every single year.
Yeah, I know that. So what's your expectation for the only game that's on the schedule next season?
I expect them to win it.
Is it back in Ohio this year?
No, this one's
no. That was last season. That was last season's in Ann Arbor.
Last year is the first time I've ever seen Ohio State lose at home to them. So
that was the second time they've ever lost in our entire lives. So
well, not quite. It's like the 4th time.
Didn't they do? They did lose with Luke Fickell at head coach too, right?
Yeah, 2011. That year didn't really count, but it was Braxton Miller's freshman year. So if there was any type of and also Braxton Miller beat Russell Wilson, Wisconsin on a walk-off Hail Mary in Madison. So that was also pretty lit. You should go check that one out. That one's sick. But some memorable moments. But yeah, Luke Fickell wasn't quite ready for prime time, and there was some roster turnover that year as well. But yeah, I digress. A little more interesting talk about that time period of Ohio State, actually. So Everett, I brought this up a while ago, but I had some gears spinning in the head. So I was out with our very own Chad last night.
Chadwick Odell Bailey.
Yes, we were with our very own recurring guest here at the Waterboy podcast, and he was bringing up Terrell Pryor. And I was reminded how Terrell Pryor said that if Duke offered him in basketball, he would have picked basketball over football because he was a 5-star recruit in both sports. Now, Everett, obviously, Duke didn't end up offering Terrell Pryor, obviously, or else he would have gone there. But let's just say Duke did offer them, but let's now put it in the perspective of Jim Tressel or a college football coach at that time. Imagine being a college football coach and you are now in a recruiting battle with Coach K, who is promising Terrell Pryor starting minutes for Duke, promising him 30 plus minutes a night as a Duke starter. I would say from the Terrell Pryor set himself, I would say it's hard to turn down a Duke, a North Carolina, a crazy good college basketball offer, even if it's Alabama or Georgia right now for football. If you're a 5-star in both,
if you are, but also like the probability, like the output that Duke has into the NBA while Coach K was their head coach, like it's if you're a starter on Duke, you are almost guaranteed to end up in the league.
Exactly.
If you decide to go
Kentucky
play for,
too, even though Kentucky when you get to March Madness isn't quite good, but
if you decide to go and play football, even if it's for Bama or Ohio State, it's so much harder. Obviously, Terrell Pryor was recruited as an athlete, and he ended up playing quarterback, then transitioned to wide receiver. But
he was never ever questioned to be a receiver at Ohio State. Like,
no, but I'm saying in the NFL. In the NFL,
it was eventually they were just like, dude, you're not a quarterback. He's like, yeah, fuck it, I'm 6'4".
I mean, he obviously he ended up having
a season.
Yeah,
fantasy year.
But I mean, the chances that if you're just a general player, right, and you don't know which way your career is going to go, I'm going with playing for Coach K at Duke if I'm getting a starting position.
100%.
Yeah, because I know that just by playing that, as if I'm starting, I don't care how ass I am. If I'm still starting,
you only need 1 year in college, then you get.
If I'm still starting for that team, I know that I'm going to get drafted. It could be in the second round, but I know that I'm going to go just because I am a starter on Duke for Coach K. And Coach K, by the way, we talk about Nick Saban talking to all these NFL teams. Oh my God, the connections that Coach K probably has to the had to the NBA and their GM offices.
Calipari must literally have friends, like great friends, with every single NBA franchise. Like, the Kentucky dudes go so high, and they're also dominant in the league. Like Devin Booker, Anthony Davis, Cat. Like, there are so many dudes that are just casually.
Tyler Hero,
Hero, yeah. Bam. So many Kentucky players. Malik Monk, De'Aaron Fox. Like, literally, Kentucky everywhere.
Yeah.
Except Kevin Knox. We don't want to bring him up. But I mean, shit. Even like Emmanuel Quickly looking. Tyrese Maxey, we were just like, literally, Kentucky is everywhere. Okay. But yeah, just imagine though, being in college football, you're trying to convince Terrell Pryor, like, you could be the quarterback for Alabama. That's way better than being the small forward for Duke.
If I'm Nick Saban, the only time I'm ever concerned, I would ever have been concerned about losing a recruiting battle. If I'm Nick Saban, because Nick Saban, obviously one of the best recruiters of all time in college football. The only time, if I'm Nick Saban, I'm ever concerned about losing a recruiting battle is if I have to recruit against Coach K.
Oh yeah, no, that's an uphill battle. That one's a tough one to beat. But yeah, I was just thinking about that while we were on the topic of two-sport college athletes with our D tackle that hits bombs. But that's all I had on college athletics.
So I got a good transition piece into the NFL here. Obviously, when we were talking about the draft, that was about a week ago. We were talking about how the Vikings were in rumor to be a candidate to trade up to for whatever reason. The Barstool Sports thought it was Will Levis. I told you all that was not going to happen. It clearly did not.
Would have been pretty funny though.
Yeah, you have my reaction video to our pick. If I had a reaction video to us trading up for Will Levis, it might have been one of the most depressing things you've seen out of a sports fan ever.
Oh yeah, would have been.
Great content though. It would have been great content for the pod. So this is according to Tom Pelissero, NFL insider, NFL like reporter, like he's like literally works for the NFL. he said that according to him, the Vikings were making calls to trade up very high in the draft, so within the top 3 picks, to draft Bryce Young if he fell. And obviously, once it kind of came out that the Panthers were going to draft Bryce Young at 1, the calls stopped. But the fact that they were going to be willing to trade up to 2 or 3 to be able to draft Bryce Young makes me very excited for the possibility that they would be willing to trade up for Caleb Williams next year. And obviously, you have to trade for the 1 pick. But if you're willing to trade up until into the top 3 to get Bryce Young, I know that you'd be willing to trade up to get the number 1 overall pick to draft Caleb Williams.
Of course, but you can go all in on Caleb Williams. I'm still under the impression that next year you're going to win the NFC North. Holy shit. You're going to win the NFC North. Fuck around, might win a playoff game too. I think you're going to have to give up a lot to go get that number 1 pick. Do you think it'll be worth it? Do you think it'll be worth it?
Here's my ideology, and this is the way that Kwesi looks at our picks, our GM. He is more so, he doesn't do the standard valuation of whatever it's called right now. I don't remember what it's called.
We talk about the Cowboys draft chart here.
Yeah. Yes. He doesn't use that evaluation. He more so used data analytics and that kind of thing. So whenever he does these trades, like last year when we were talking the draft and he traded from 13 or 12 to 32 or 31, whichever pick it was, obviously it looked stupid in the moment. We were all pissed off, but for his analytics, it made sense. And he technically won the trade by data analytics. So I'm looking at that. And I'm also thinking about the fact, let's say we do get Caleb Williams. Okay. Obviously, we have to trade up multiple 1st-round picks for him. Let's say we trade 3 1st-round picks for Caleb Williams. Okay. I personally think that trading 3 1st-round picks, which we would presume are going to be in the back end of the 1st round, I would be very willing to do that to get Caleb Williams because we're trading that year's first. So we're technically only losing 2 1st-round picks outside of that. And if those are both in the back end of the 1st round, I technically count that as a 2nd. So I don't really have that big of qualms where it essentially trading 2 seconds, 3 seconds for Caleb Williams.
Do you think you'd actually be able to 2 seconds?
I think, well, not literally 2 seconds. We're giving them future 1st-round picks, but the ideology is we're going to do well enough with Caleb Williams where it's going to be picks 26, 27 through 32 in the 1st round.
I would say that, let's say whoever gets that number 1 pick next year and they are somehow in the Bears situation where they don't need a quarterback. They somehow have an established quarterback, like the Texans.
The market for Caleb Williams, the market for Caleb Williams is going to be the most competitive market we have ever seen for a 1st-round pick in the last
if Bo
20
Callahan
years.
was worth 3 first and Caleb's worth 4.
Like the way that I do genuinely think that having a generational quarterback, one that you and I both think is going to be a Hall of Fame candidate coming out of the draft. I
hate to put those things on him, but from what I've seen, my God, holy shit.
The way that I feel about it, the way that a lot of people feel about and think about Caleb Williams, I think that it's totally worth it to invest 3-4 1st rounds into it. And it sounds crazy because, I mean, honestly, it is crazy. We've never seen that before. But you still have the rest of your draft to go and get these players that you need for depth. You still have a 2nd-round pick, a 3rd-round pick, and we've seen teams be able to jump up and trade 4th and 5th rounders to get another 3rd rounder, something like that. Like, that's not crazy. And with the team that's getting older, you're going to be able to replace these guys anyways. You're going to have another rest of the entire draft for next year's draft to be able to replace these players. This draft class is going to turn out well. You have Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, KJ Osborne. The offensive line is better. Why would you not want to try and get your window on a rookie contract with a player who's going to be a generational talent? Why would you not want to do that? Because by the time his contract's up, by the way, too, with the defense is an issue. But here's the thing. If Brian Flores stays, okay, that means the defense hasn't improved that much, but I'd much rather have Brian Flores as a defensive coordinator than somebody else. If he leaves, if he gets hired as a head coach somewhere, the assumption is that means our defense has improved drastically. The players have improved and we're in a much better spot. That also means we get an extra pick for him being hired as a head coach off of our staff. So you have that extra pick included into the
fair,
draft.
but I am just thinking that it
The defense
be
is
best case to keep those first rounders and get some
the
defensive
defense obviously is an issue, but when we're talking about, we talked about this before. Look at how many first round picks from the 2020 draft or whatever year it was that had their fifth year options decline. You're only going to hit on a certain amount. Like hitting in the first round is not guaranteed, and that includes Caleb Williams. I'm not saying that he's going to be a bust because he's not going to be. He's hitting, but a majority of the picks, especially when you're picking late in the first round, you're not guaranteed to hit on a majority of them. It's very rare. Like the Vikings have missed on a lot of first round picks, and
I know, but it's just
also
to have those.
Also, yeah, I mean they could hit. They could be great players. They could be ass. And the Vikings have missed on the Vikings have missed on a sizable amount of defensive players in the first round in recent memory. And obviously, it's a new GM now. We haven't seen Lewis Cine play yet, but if it's my opinion, if this is my personal opinion, and somebody's going to be like, "Well, this is why you're not a GM." If it's my opinion, I would much rather have a generational quarterback because they're worth those picks. By the time I get the first round pick again, I'm essentially going to be having his fifth year option that I'm going to be paying for it. And it hasn't made a difference. I still have the rest of I have the second round pick, third round pick, all these things where there's still very talented players and you find diamonds, gems in there. And that's also where Kwesi's done really well for our drafts is he's found players deeper in the draft that have made sizable impacts on the team. So in my opinion, I would so much rather get Caleb Williams, have that quarterback that's going to be the entire future of the franchise for the next 12 years, 13 years. And I'm still going to have picks. I'm going to be able to build around him later too. And if this doesn't work out now, guess what? I still have Justin Jefferson. I still have Jordan Addison and I have Caleb Williams. The defense.
I just can't help but think that, as a USC fan, Lincoln Riley, his track record, Caleb also being at Oklahoma, where the memes of, they'll put up 50, but the defense gives up 60. That might carry Caleb for his whole career then if that happens.
I mean, if that's the case, fine. But we're not talking about what Caleb Williams' career, that's going to end up being.
But look at
it's also, you're also the way that you're assuming, the way that you're thinking about this though, is basically the first round pick is the only pick in the draft that's going to make an impact on your team. You have 7 rounds of draft, but that's the way that the way that you're perceiving it. You have 7 rounds of draft picks.
The first round pick.
The first round pick is the most likely. The first round pick is the most likely to be able to make a difference. It's the player of the highest quality coming out of college that you know of. But second round picks are still very good. Third round picks still make a decent impact. And then obviously you're getting more into less likely to have impact. But so far, Kwesi has shown that he's able to draft good players later in the draft. And in the first round, the Vikings aren't going to be drafting, hopefully are not going to be drafting that high that often. So the players are not as likely to hit. And on top of that, it's essentially just a high second round pick.
I mean, I get that, but I still think a late first rounder in the NFL.
But okay, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Obviously first rounders make a difference, okay? But if you're the Viking, let's say the Vikings defense improves a lot this year, okay? You have Byron Murphy, the new corner that's going to be on contract for a couple of years. You have a lot of young players developing, okay? You can still trade Danielle Hunter and Zadarius Smith to get draft picks back because you're going to be building up the edges anyways, okay?
I just like to see I'm just curious to see
if you're the Vikings, if you're the Vikings and your head coach is an offensive-minded head coach, your GM's able to draft well and sign well, and you have the best wide receiver in football, Jordan Addison and KJ Osborne. Why would you not want to trade a couple first-round picks for a player that might turn the entire tide of your franchise around?
I get it. Obviously, everyone would love to have Caleb Williams. Don't get me wrong there. I just think it might be a lot. It might be a big commitment.
So to you, how many picks for Caleb Williams is too many picks in your opinion? What is the maximum? If you got a phone call and you were and they told you we will give you Caleb Williams right now for this, and that is our
I would say let's say you're the Vikings, you'd have to give up whatever your first rounder is next year. Let's say it's 25. Let's say that's it. You have to give that up. You got to give up your first next year. that's like the minimum first, and then it could either go to another first, or then we go like to seconds or thirds or whatnot.
Because essentially the trade you're making also is like, obviously we've seen the trade for Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson. So keep that in mind. And then also keep in mind that you're basically making a trade
what
for
was the Russell Wilson trade again?
It's like
Don't say
it was like
two. If
it was like a one first, it was one first, a second, a third, and then a couple players. Or maybe it was 2 seconds. I don't know. But like also keep in mind that this is going to be a player that's now also on a rookie contract. So you're essentially trading for like Patrick Mahomes on his rookie contract.
I like to think he is like that.
That's the way that you have to think about the trade
Everyone
value.
will have different valuations.
But like keep in mind also, if you get a call from the number one overall, the team with the number one overall pick, it's like, we will give you them. We will give you the first overall pick. We'll give you Caleb Williams right now for 3 first-round picks, 4 first-round picks, right? Imagine you have to be the guy that says can't do it, and you have to hang up, and you lost out on Caleb Williams.
The 4 first, definitely not. 3 first, I'm still on the fringe.
If it's 3 first-round picks, 4 first-round picks, I have to think about it a little bit, but 3 first-round picks.
No. 4, trust me. 4, you'd be sitting there for a second like, oh wow. 4 for that.
I'd negotiate that, but
that's arguably Caleb's entire rookie contract.
3 first-round picks, I have to think about it a little bit, but
4 first-round picks, that is almost all of Caleb.
4 first-round picks wouldn't happen. I would be like, negotiating that one down, but
it would ever be possible to get 4 first-round picks.
I don't think a player has ever been traded for that much.
No way.
There's no way. that literally Caleb Williams would have to be like the greatest quarterback of all time to get 4 first-round picks coming out of college. The greatest college quarterback of all time.
There just need to be so many amazing things. I'm not sure if Caleb quite comes across as highly touted as that.
We'll see.
Like
the biggest
another thing is guys like Caleb, Marv. Like we're sitting here saying like we think Caleb and Marv would have gone QB1, wide receiver 1 if they were drafted. I do think though, like next year, not necessarily Caleb. I feel like from what I've seen with like Jameis Winston in the past, where guys, it's like preseason sometimes Drake May might creep up, but sometimes if you're really that, like Bryce Young too, if you're really that guy touted into it going into your junior year, there's a good chance you end up keeping it. Obviously, Sam Howell didn't. There's some exceptions here and there. Yeah. But for the most part, like I think Caleb's okay. But in my opinion, like Marv, for him to go like top 5, top 3, Jamar, is he the last receiver to go top 5 in like last 5 years? What other receivers have gone top 5? Like Waddle was 6.
I think it was Jamar.
Like I think it's just Jamar Chase. But like for Marv to go top 5, I think he needs to take a big step up next year. Like if
that's
he stays
considering what he also did last year, though, that's
I
know,
but I think it's capable of happening. And I think that he will.
I also just think that trade value is the reason why it can become so blasphemous is if a team's trying to trade like somebody, if you're a team that holds 1 pick, you look at some team trying to trade in the top 10 way differently than a team trying to trade up in like the top 25 or like, and so
I have the Jimmy Johnson trade chart up right now. So according to the Jimmy Johnson trade chart, the number 1 pick overall is worth 1,000 or no. God damn it. This doesn't have the full thing. They put it behind a paywall. They put it behind a paywall. I can't see the value for the
debate for another time.
But I actually think there might be a chance that, let's say your first round picks, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, are the last pick. Those are worth 590. Pick 16 in the first round is worth 1,000. So according to the chart, essentially 2 last round, like last pick of the first round, 32 overall, essentially the same as the 16th overall pick. So you know what? 4. According to the chart, you might actually be onto something here, and I would say Caleb Williams adds some value to the number 1 pick, which we need to factor in as well. So according to this chart, you might actually be within bounds here. So, I mean, once again, it's behind a paywall. I don't know the exact value, but from my projections, it seems like you might be okay. Seems like you might be fine. Might be though.
We'll see.
No,
We'll see.
no
Might be as
confirmation.
Okay. So here we have. I also have a couple more lists on standby.
Yeah. While you go up, I'm gonna get the fucking chart. I'm gonna find it.
Okay. Let's find it. So the list I have for today are the top NFL head coaches going into the 2023 season.
I found the chart.
You got it? All right, let me go through this list real quick. So top 10 NFL head coaches going into the 2023 season: Andy Reid, Kyle Shanahan, Mike Tomlin, Zach Taylor, Nick Sirianni, Sean McDermott, Brian Dable, Kevin O'Connell, Robert Saleh, and Doug Peterson.
Everett. Is this some type of sick fucking joke?
Let me guess what you're gonna ask about.
What are we doing here, Everett? I can't show my face on this podcast anymore. What the hell?
What's your issue?
Did he retire? Did he stop?
I know, but he's had 2 losing seasons back to back.
Okay. But still, Everett. Like,
okay, fine. You want to
get the benefit of the doubt.
You want to do it this way? Fine. We'll do this. Andy Reid, Kyle Shanahan, Mike Tomlin, Bill Belichick, Zach Taylor, Nick Sirianni, Sean McDermott, Brian Dable, Kevin O'Connell, and Robert Saleh.
Wait, but why does Mike Tomlin get the benefit of the doubt there?
Mike Tomlin has not had a losing season. He didn't have a losing season last year.
Dude, but what's the difference between fucking 9-8 and 7-10?
Because Mike Tomlin's been given dog shit. Mike Tomlin.
Yes,
but we're talking about going to this. It doesn't matter.
More about a coach than anyone. Damn it. Okay.
A coach can have rings, but that doesn't mean that he's going to be able to coach at the same level his entire career. That just doesn't happen. At some point, coaches are not going to be the same. I know it's Bill, and I'm not saying that he's dog shit. I'm not saying that he's the 32nd
offensive coordinator hire of all time.
And guess whose decision that was? That was his decision. That's his choice. It goes into why he's
he gets the liberty.
That goes into why his ranking is lower.
I know, but he gets one.
Look, also with Mike Tomlin, like obviously he was 9-8 last year, but also Mike Tomlin has been given dog shit and has still been able to coach dog shit.
Well, I mean, Mac Jones. I mean,
Bill Belichick has dog shit, but the dog shit has made his team also dog shit. He hasn't been a coach it. Mac Jones has not. He has not been able to coach Mac Jones.
I mean, it's crazy to throw Mike Tomlin at 3 and then Bill's not even in the top 10 like that.
I'm sorry. Like I understand that it's an argument, but also Bill Belichick over the last couple of years, especially after Tom Brady left, like he had a good season with Cam Newton was not a good season. First season with Mac Jones, okay, he was able to kind of like bring it back around. Obviously, they've had a good defense, but since then, the entire team has been a fucking catastrophe. It's been terrible. Bill Belichick, based off of last year's performance, obviously he's a great NFL mind. He has historically great. I mean, he is the best coach of all time.
Still take Sean McVay in that top 10. I know last year, obviously the Rams.
But this is going into next season. Like Sean McVay is a great offensive mind. He might be one of the best offensive minds we have ever seen.
They got Bakered. Shit.
But like also this is I can't have this is the same thing with the wide receiver list. I can't have every single coach, every single wide receiver be the number one person.
No, fair.
That's Sean McVay or Bill Belichick being at 11. Sean McVay or Bill Belichick being at 11 doesn't mean that they're innately dog shit at their jobs.
No.
Being at 11 is still very good for
being
in the NFL.
Everett, just like I feel like this is more so of a little more of a reaction to last season, more so than a preview for next.
That's
year.
kind of how rankings going into next season.
I'm aware, but it's not quite much more so like projections for next season.
Because what I have to go
accurate.
off of is off-season moves and how last season ended. When we
Fair enough.
go into the season starts, I'll be able to see more when we go into the preseason and everything like that. But there's no information for me to go off of to project teams. I'm going off of coaching ability.
But I would say
from what I
like,
saw last season, the most recent
I'd say
experience I
Sean
have with the
McVay is
coaching.
a top 10 coach in the NFL.
Dude, he almost retired because he didn't get his way with his team.
Oh my, okay, I know, but shit went really south.
Yeah, but okay, let me tell you off this list. Who is Sean?
Also,
who is Sean?
But Sean McVay's his issues and shit about whether or not he wants to coach and stuff or not.
Sean McVay is one of the best coaches in the NFL. That is 100% true. But when I'm looking at this list based off of what teams have done with shit equal to Sean McVay's team, they have done more and better with it than Sean McVay did. And especially the thing is, when Kevin O'Connell left that team, even when the team was basically the same as before, it was ass. It was terrible.
Well, I mean, Everett injuries.
Yeah, but they didn't start the team with an injured player.
I know, but I mean, the season was pretty.
Yeah, no, I know, but a part of being a coach is being able to coach around having injuries. Like Robert Saleh is at 9 on this because he didn't have a fucking quarterback and they were still winning games.
Yes. Well, also another thing slightly different is it is a little bit different when you go from Zach Wilson to like a Mike White.
I mean, Kyle Shanahan's at 2 because he coached
at a spot at a time.
John Wolford was, yeah. but like also Kyle Shanahan's at 2. He took the last pick in the NFL draft last year, and his system and coaching is so good that they brought him to
I'm not debating Shanahan. I'm not debating
that's what my point is. That's what my point is.
Kyle Shanahan's. I think Kyle Shanahan. Shit, I'd marry him. Yeah.
Like that's what my point is. Like basically, let's look at what John Wolford and Brock Purdy, right? They essentially Brock Purdy coming out of the draft, like you wouldn't expect him to do any better than John Wolford coming out.
Sure, but it's okay. Well,
but that's the difference between having dog shit is, and I'm not saying Brock Purdy is dog shit, but Kyle Shanahan's making shit with dog shit. That
the Niners might have a bit of a better defense than the Rams, but
the offense still works.
Well, I'd say, Niners also got some weapons around there that were healthy.
They did, but it also is around coaching, your ability to coach a quarterback. If you have an ass quarterback, it doesn't matter how many weapons you have. We've kind of seen that's the case.
But like, I'm just trying to think, even with Kupp healthy for last year, post Odell, who even was the Rams wide receiver?
But also like look at. I mean, obviously talents.
Cam Akers,
Van Jefferson. But like also like look at the Eagles. Okay, obviously this is a bit of a talent gap. Gardner Minshew is still one of the best backups in the NFL. He's arguably fighting to start for the Colts.
We all say that, but we all collectively agree on that. But I'm not really sure if it's quite true. But sure.
But the Eagles had weapons, and Jalen Hurts got hurt, and you throw Gardner Minshew in there, and they lose every game he started. It's a coaching difference.
Okay, sure. Well, we can agree to disagree on those. That's fine. That's fine.
Anyways, you choose which one out of those two lists.
I just think it is. I want to post someone know Bill Belichick. I'm curious. I want to see if anyone would
see. Like my thing is like I was sitting there and I made this list. Like it's not like I was sitting there and I was thinking like, damn, like I need to put Bill Belichick in here. Like I acknowledge the fact like he obviously is the best coach of all time, but based off of what we've seen recently, like I don't know if he's a top 10 coach in the NFL right now. And Bill, like if you throw him on any other team, maybe, but with the team that he's made right now, like it's clear that there's a very big coaching gap between what he had once and where he's at now.
Yeah, if I'm thinking about like college football coaches right now, like just right now, I think I might be putting Harbaugh over Dabo, even though if we're gonna look at the past 15 years, Dabo is the second best coach.
Yeah, that's the point.
That's what I'm looking at from that perspective. I get that look, that outreach. But my question is, do you think next year that top 10, that's what will like be for the season? Or are you saying
No, the top 10s are never like, it's never like a set thing. It's not like I'm doing this and I'm projecting where it's going to be at the end of the season. It's entering the 2023 season.
Okay.
Like right now, going into next year, this is the top coach. Like if I make a power rankings, my power rankings at the start of the season are not going to be the same at the end of the season. I'm not projecting who's going to be the best team at the end of the season. This is going who's starting.
I understand.
It's the same. It's the same ideology, and that's what people always forget. By the way, when we make these lists, and what people currently on TikTok who are commenting on our wide receiver core rankings is, it will change because performances change throughout the year. I'm not going to have the same top 3 when there's clearly a better team. I'm just going based off of where we're at right now going into the season. This is who I think is the best going into the season.
Okay. All right. What is the next list?
We're talking about power rankings. NFL top 10 teams entering the 2023 season.
So let's do the way too early, Let's
way too early.
Pre-training camp or let's throw a little
I got
disclaimer
you.
on it.
I got you. NFL, NFL, OTA, NFL team power rankings. Here we go. Eagles, Chiefs, 49ers, Jets, Bengals, Dolphins. Sorry, I have to redo this. I had the wrong list. I made adjustments. Sorry, Here we go.
Okay.
Eagles, Chiefs, 49ers, Bengals, Dolphins, Jets, Vikings, Cowboys, Lions, Jaguars.
Okay.
Top 10 teams entering OTAs.
Yes. Or we could just make it even easier post-draft.
Rookie minicamp.
We'll go with that.
Close enough. So what do you think about that? So Eagles, Chiefs.
Can you repeat the 5 again?
Eagles, Chiefs, 49ers, Bengals, Dolphins, Jets, Vikings, Cowboys, Lions, Jaguars.
I would say I'd say like probably no Bills in there. I would say for me, quarterback matters a lot when I'm just thinking about regular season, getting through it, and I do think that Josh Allen's gonna pull some shit out of his ass, Everett.
I agree. I agree. I agree with that.
I'd give the Bills a slight. I would say.
I think that they're at 11 right now.
Division odds right now.
There are division odds, not Waterboy analytic division odds.
I would not be shocked if the Bills are still favored right now to win the AFC.
Let me look right now. To win the AFC or to win the AFC Beast. Okay.
AFC Beast.
So here's my thing: is right now I have them right outside. The Giants and the Bills are both right outside the top 10 at 11 and 12.
Yeah, like I'm thinking like Dolphins in the 5-6 might be a little high.
But like also my thing is going on, let's say their entire team is healthy. We were watching them last year when they had a healthy quarterback.
Top 10 team either.
Yeah, their defense is so good. And now they have a couple more wide receivers to help.
Triple chin McCarthy. It is tough to get by that.
That is why they're 8. But I just like my thing is with the Dolphins. With the Denny's menu, with the Dolphins,
that's what it looks like when he's holding like
when they were fully healthy, they had one of the most explosive offenses that we've ever seen, and now their defense has gotten even better. Where I just think that as long as Tua stays healthy and their wider and Tyreek and Jalen Waddle are both healthy, I think that they could go really far.
Correct, or is he still there?
I think he's gone. So currently division odds for the AFC East: Bills plus 125, Jets plus 250, Dolphins plus 300, and the Pats are plus 800.
Yeah, so
there is a favorite.
Be still getting that edge there.
There is a favorite, but like not really.
Yeah, no, like none of those teams are in the minuses, so like yeah, it is up flux. But I I think we're gonna have to throw the Bills in there. Maybe the Dolphins at 6. It might be a little high.
They're at 5.
Even worse. But
It's just like
a tad bit high.
It's just like look at what I'm basing it off of what I watched them do on offense and what I have seen them be able to build on the defense this offseason. Like I think that the team can go very far, and their offense before Tua got hurt was the best offense in the NFL last year.
Yeah, I mean, shit. I still can't believe my Bullets fucking whooped their ass in like I want to say like week 12. I want to say it was like around then, week 13. Chargers actually picked up a dub, boys. Like I know you didn't do this, but where would you slot like the Saints, Broncos, Colts? Some scrappy teams. Like 15
Broncos
5-ish range.
Broncos probably be like 15, maybe 16. So I also have to fit the Ravens in there with Lamar, like they're probably like 15. Saints.
People do forget that the Ravens were looking very good for a very
Saints,
solid period of time there.
Somebody's gonna comment on this, be like, where are the Ravens? But like, let's also be honest. Defense kind of cheeks right now. Offense, we haven't seen anything happen with any of their players. It's just all names on paper.
But it's Odell Beckham Jr. and
30,
Antonio Brown.
And who's 32 with no ACL.
Antonio Brown would be hilarious.
But like the Saints are definitely in the top 20. Colts, I'm going to probably slide at like 23, 24.
Just to imagine if they had Andrew Luck right now. Damn.
They'd be number 1. Put them at 1.
Number 1 team in the league.
Fuck.
That's Luck's value. Yeah, no, apparently he's just 175 pounds now. Literally looks like a librarian. Yeah, he could not play in the NFL today. He is not ready. Like, I was thinking about that. If he was going to be contacted for anything, it'd be like some type of staff role.
He's the inverse Mike McCarthy right now. He doesn't have a chin anymore.
Oh yeah, no, it's yeah, it's completely gone. Yeah, no, what are you talking?
It's just straight down.
Kind of like Ferb from Phineas.
Yeah.
That's the best example I could think of when it's just like a.
Can we? This might be too much, but can we get like an on-screen comparison right now for Urban Andrew Luck?
No, we cannot. But
what about Phineas? Is Phineas on the table?
Yeah, that one I'll do.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
all right.
Game, but
I'm so fucked when I'm sorry. I'm so fucked when I edit the next set of videos, because you're gonna be like putting this one here, this picture here, this video here.
We'll be clicking. Oh yeah, no, that was great.
I'm gonna be fucked.
The coach picture. Let's just throw them all up right now.
And zoom in on this part of it.
Take a freeze frame actually. Yeah, can you add a strobe light effect right now too? But okay.
No more list. That was it.
Oh, no more. Okay. But okay. You know what? Real quick, while we're on the fun topic, Aaron Rodgers is gone. I want to officially flesh this out, wrap this up, get your final thoughts on the bad man leaving. Are the Jets your favorite AFC team next year?
Just to piss off
pure nature of how funny it would be
to piss off Packer fans. 100%. Yeah.
Because, at the end of the day, it's not like, let's just say this. The reason why you really hate Aaron Rodgers so much is that the Packers have him and you don't. Like, at the end of the day, that's what the beef with Aaron Rodgers really comes down to. Like, it's not with him, it's with the Packers and that he's their quarterback. So now that he's not their quarterback, now you're rooting for him because that pains Packer fans more.
Exactly.
That was their guy. Now
exactly.
He's gonna go win a ring.
Exactly.
Like, for example, if Jim Harbaugh were to leave Michigan and go to like the Bears, I would be the biggest Jim Harbaugh fan in the NFL that wasn't a fan of that team. Oh my God. If Harbaugh was the Chargers head coach, I would buy into those stereotypes so hard. I'd be the most annoying, like, drinking milk like Harbaugh. I'm a Harbaugh man. I would never use that, the term they use, but I'm a Harbaugh man if that were to happen. But yeah, the hate isn't with him. It's with the school. I think there was a time where I used to make 0-5 jokes. Good old days.
But with that, thank you guys so much for watching, listening. Rate us 5 stars. You can find us on Spotify, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and on Instagram at Waterboy Pod. Make sure to follow me and Grant at our handles below at Everest Takes and at Waterboy Grant on Twitter. Make sure to subscribe, follow, like, favorite, download, share. I don't care. Do all of those things.
Wait, sorry, Everett. We forgot to go over. I got the trade chart. I'm sorry. Like this is gonna be real quick.
Okay. Let's do it.
Like the number
Let's
one.
Rip it.
It's worth 3,000, Everett. The 32nd pick is worth 590. So according to this chart, Everett, 5 first round picks are worth the number 1 overall pick. If you're picking at 32, 5 first rounders are worth a number 1. So you're in bounds. But the problem is, Everett, whoever has number 1 might also have this chart. So they might
the nice thing for the
Vikings.
The nice thing for the Vikings is Kwesi doesn't use that chart, so it's fine.
Well, who knows? Maybe the Texans do.
Well, if you're wheeling and dealing with Kwesi, you're not wheeling with that chart. That's not in the conversations because Kwesi won't trade with that chart.
All right.
But with that, like I said, thank you guys so much for watching, listening. Make sure to follow us, subscribe, favorite. Follow us on TikTok, subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Twitter, on Instagram, if we ever post there. And we'll see you in the next episode. Waterboys out.